All right, here we
What?
are.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, that was the poor man's intro since I can't afford the yearly membership. I got around the StreamYard parameters, that those silly parameters they put. All it takes is just a little finagling and some elbow grease, and we got ourselves a free introduction, playing some Rush, and then we switch over to us in the poor man's way.
You've got it top notch then, because I couldn't even figure that out if I had to.
I mean, listen, I complain about this every 5 shows that we do, but I'm gonna since it was 5 shows ago, I'll mention it again. StreamYard's monthly platform, whatever plan they had, is garbage and crap.
Yes,
They
it
raised
is.
the prices. They raised the prices it's like I don't know, like $40 now a month or something like that. It's
Yep.
insane.
Yep.
I get it. I get it for the for collectors, or I get it for the channels that do a lot of a crap ton of live streams, but
Well, you do a lot, and you're bigger, and it's
yeah,
still a lot.
yeah. But listen, man, I don't have deep pockets.
Right? Exactly. No, exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, man. What are you drinking? You drinking the
Nectar of the
beer?
gods. Nectar of the gods. Back to the 16 ounces.
Fantastic.
You had 2 cases waiting for you, right?
Of course, man. I got it
There
right
it
here.
is. There it
This
is.
live stream is unofficially sponsored by Zadie's Lager from Baltimore, Maryland. The beer, the brand, the beer, not the distillery. The what do they call it? I can't think of it now. The beer company, Union Craft Brewery, who I've repeatedly tried to get them to sponsor my live streams, are not going to. Oh, I'm not asking for money. Just asking
beer.
every single time. But listen, I am a slave to the Zadie's Lager. So by all means, I will crack this and hope that one day I will convince them of my devotion and my absolute what's the word? You see, I can't find the right words. I'm so hypnotized by this company.
by the beer. That just means drink more, and you'll be fine.
That's the first sip. But yeah, we didn't get to the proper greeting. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cardboard and Cold Ones, episode number 44, where we raise our beers and cheers to the legends we admire on the cardboard we collect.
You actually have it memorized now at this point.
I know. I almost stumbled a little bit.
There was a time where I could see you reading it off on the side. I'm like, how does he know this?
I've gotten to that point now. But let's do a roll call. We have our buddy Jeff from A Fine Card Collector, who I'm met for the first time digitally here. And Jason, you've worked with him before.
Yes. We were on, I think it was Alex's, right? I believe it was Alex's, if I'm not mistaken.
Hardroom
yeah, on the Show a Card. It was me, him, and Lou Rock. So, and Lou Rock was jabbing me about being on every live on the face of the earth. I told him, I said, I slowed down, Lou Rock.
There's some people that can do it and some people that cannot.
But we had a blast. And I missed Jeff, and he was at the National, but I think he was only there for a day or two, and we'll chat when he gets on.
Yeah.
So we didn't get a chance, because I was hanging with you quite a bit, so we both missed him. We didn't get a chance to hang out with him. So.
Well, that will definitely change going forward. But let's do a roll call. Andrew, correct me. Of course, he's number one. And if you didn't see him last week, you'll check out last week's video, the live stream. It was pretty wild. Andrew was he's a showman. You may not think it, but he is a showman.
Absolutely.
eBay is here. He's forever known as eBay.
eBay's the man.
Let's see. Jay, what's up, Jay? From Buffalo. Mike, the sports history collector. Let's start the party. Nerding out. What's up, nerds? Oh, yeah.
Cardinal fan.
We need a side-by-side photo of Jeff and Petty to compare two of the best heads of hair in the hobby.
Ooh, yeah. I never thought of that. We got to do that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Big ups, everybody. Philippines collection, nice.
I've got to ask the Philippines collection. I think I've asked him because he chatted he comments quite a bit on my channel. Are you in the Philippines and are you Filipino? Answer in the comments.
There you go.
Because I am Filipino, so I ask.
Crazy. Dave, Peacemaker Cards, what's up? Keith, Lowly Basement Cards.
How's the game, Keith? He went to the game yesterday, I think.
Oh man. Sven is here. What is up?
Sven's
Brad
awesome.
Here, Sammy Jason, History Through Cards. Hope all is well. Raise a glass to the fallen on 9/11. Yes, sir.
Yes, very much so.
Matt is here. The Card Story. So pumped to have this show back. Yes.
Look at that. I heard that guy's got a channel. Does he ever do videos?
He hasn't done one in a while, but we speak. I texted him the other day because there was a card at the Garfield show, but I think he already has it. I kind of figured he did. Better booking agent this week. Jeff is here. Jeremy is here. Mark Hoyle, what's up, man? Mark texted me earlier saying he got a special. He I sold him that wind-up clock of Ted Williams.
Yeah, I remember.
And he found the corresponding watch.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. There's Petty. What's up there, fruitcake? Ross is here. Trevor is here. What's up? What's up, peeps? And Philippines collection of Mrs. Philippines collection is the native Filipino of us too.
Got it. Okay.
Corey is here. What's up, Corey? Good to have you here, friend. And currently in PA is what?
Okay.
And Dan finishing off the roll call. What is up, Dan? So roll call's done. Let's bring in our guest and let's give him the floor. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Cheers.
Yes.
And Jason, great to be on with you again. Last time we were on, I told you it felt like I was a freshman being invited to a seniors party, and here we are drinking together now. So I feel welcome.
Yep. Now it's seasoned. You're seasoned.
Sammy, obviously, it's an honor to be on with you and meet you for the first time. So, stoked to be here. Thank you.
No problem.
Now, what did you think about the comparison to the Petty flowing locks? I didn't. Oh no,
he's got me beat. I mean, and I'm not just saying that. My hair is a mess. Petty, his hair is slick and it always looks the same. Mine is like a big rat's nest, and I don't know. I just run with it.
That's hilarious. That is awesome.
You never know, man. That's I feel like we definitely do need a side-by-side comparison.
That'll be next. We'll have the hair off. Mangini. I was at the National. I didn't have a hat on. He looked at me. He's like, "You got a lot of hair." I said, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "I never knew that because you're always wearing a hat." I said, "Yeah, I've got some hair." So
I don't think I've ever seen you without. You always wear a hat in your videos, right?
Yeah, I was actually gonna wear one. My hair is thick. It's thick, which is not a bad thing, but it starts to go like this if I don't get a haircut. So.
Yeah, man. Sorry. So, if you want to, I don't know, Jeff, if you want to take us through your hobby history, because I don't know what your hobby history is. I think Jason probably knows a little bit more, but if you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I mean, I'm going to have, if you heard my story, you heard the story, you heard it a million times. It's the same story with me. But yeah, I mean, I was born in 81, so I'm 44. I'll be 45 in February. And I started like getting packs of cards. I remember 1987 maybe 1988. 1988, I remember getting packs of cards and starting to acquire baseball cards, but I don't think I was huge into it at that point. I think 1989 was the big year for me. Starting to get into collecting and having friends that were collecting. I collected as a kid. I grew up in Chicago, right? So Jason knows that, probably everybody, I probably say that on half my videos, but, I grew up in Chicago. So I grew up a huge Cubs fan, huge Bulls fan, obviously in that era. Bears fan. And Blackhawks obviously as well. But, I don't do really any hockey collecting or anything like that. But I was collecting cards from, like I said, probably 88, 89 until I remember the beginning of 8th grade. I think in 8th grade, you start, you start getting more interested in girls and like going out and doing things. And we started going to the roller rink in 8th grade.
Right.
And so that was more of a priority then at that point. And then so getting in high school, lost track of it in high school. I still kept all my cards. You know, I used to collect Jordan. I was a big Jordan collector when I was a kid. I didn't do a lot of collecting of like Chicago Cubs or Cubs players or anything like that. But no, you know, Andrew just asked about wrestling cards. No, I didn't do any collecting of wrestling cards, but I was a huge wrestling fan. So WWF back in the late 80s, 90s, huge wrestling fan. And so, yeah, you know, I didn't collect at all, you know, in high school and, you know, growing up in Chicago. And then probably in about 2000, my wife and I moved to, well, girlfriend at the time, wife now, we moved to LA from Chicago in 2007. And I don't know if it was just the right timing for me to start, you know, getting back into cards, or if it was more of I'm away from all my friends because we moved to California. We didn't have any friends. And so I remember just one day being at Target, and this was 2008. So one day being at Target, and my wife and I, you know, we're checking out. They have all the cards in that aisle right by the checkout counters.
Right.
I ended up buying a few packs just for old time's sake. And I mean, I think I was instantly hooked. I mean, I opened like 3 packs. I pulled some random insert, you know, and I was like, oh man, you know, and I feel like I instantly got home. I went on eBay and I started looking at cards that I wanted in the 80s, right? Because, you know, to me as a kid, you know, in that 88 through 94 collecting, you know, the 80s cards were the cards that I really wanted, you know, and, you know, the 86 Canseco and the 84 Donruss Mattingly and, you know, some of that stuff. And
was it at that time that you realized that they haven't gained in value at all?
Right. Well, I mean, I was like, I remember, so I went on eBay and I saw a Donruss Jose Canseco for like $5, buy it now, free shipping, right? And I was like, are you kidding me? $5 for Jose Canseco Donruss rated rookie? So I ended up buying that, and then you know, you just kind of get hooked. And you know, there was a little card shop. Well, it's not little actually. I think it's a pretty well-known card shop in Beverly Hills, because we ended up moving to West Hollywood because my wife took a job there, and so we moved right into West Hollywood. And you know, it's called Beverly Hills Baseball Cards, and great guys that run it. I think it's still there. And I remember going in and looking at all the 80s rookies, like the 85 Topps Clemens and the Topps Puckett and all the iconic 80s rookies. And I was just like, how much for all these? And he's like, whatever it says in Beckett, I'll give you 50% off. Wow. And I was like, whoa, you know, I thought that was, you know, whatever. So, I mean, I ended up spending probably $200, you know, buying like $400, you know, Beckett pricing worth of 80s cards. And yeah, I mean, I've just collecting ever since. Right. And, you know, I'd go through periods of time. And I've said this a lot before, you know, but, you know, I was collecting, let's say 2008 to 2012. Right. And then at some point I'd realize like how much money I had in cards. Right. And I would tell myself like, man, you know, there's other things I need, you know, there's bigger priorities in life than having all this money in cards. And so, you know, like we didn't own a house at the time. So I'd end up selling everything off. And then, you know, 3 months later, I would just start again slow. I would tell myself, all right, I'm going to do a little slower this time and focus on some cheaper things this time. And it never happens, you know?
Right.
So it's been a cycle right through the, you know, from 2008 to 2021, pretty much. It's been a cycle off and on, mostly on, but a cycle on and off. And then in 2021, we bought our house here, and, you know, and then I kind of feel like now it's like, well, I don't have anything else. Like I don't have any big purchases I need to make or worry about making anymore. And so now I can actually have fun and buy the stuff I want to buy, and feel like I finally have my priorities straight, and I could have fun with baseball cards again.
What drew you to the community? You know, watching guys on YouTube, learning about that, figuring that all out. What drove that?
Well, I mean, I've been watching sports card related content since probably probably 2012, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've actually been on eBay. So when you see my YouTube channel, I think it says I joined in like 2012 or 11 or something, but it was actually 2008 when I joined to start buying baseball cards, to start buying those like the 86 Donruss Canseco and some of that other stuff.
Right.
But I was watching a channel back then. I was actually commuting, right? I was living in LA, and for about an 8-month period, I was commuting between LA and Santa Barbara. And it's about an 1.5-hour drive, if there's light traffic. And so during that time, I started watching, I discovered sports card related content. And there was a guy way back in the day, and I still follow his channel and still hope he's going to put out more videos, but he never does. But it's Packers Corner. His name was Troy from Packers Corner, and he was a big Packers fan in Wisconsin. And so I was watching him, and he had a ton of videos. So like every day, I just went back to his like first video, and on every drive, I was just watching his videos, and it was all about the Packers. And I'm, obviously a Bears fan. I'm not a Packers fan, but I really enjoyed his channel. I liked him. You know what I mean? That's the stuff I watch. The stuff I watch is like, you initially go there for the cards, but you stick around because of the guys. You enjoy the guy, and so so again, showing stuff that I wasn't necessarily interested in, but I just had a lot of fun watching it. And and he would always talk about PSA and this stuff and this and that. So then I started getting into buying graded cards, and I've just always watched, never really always watched, never really, and I never even commented. Jason, I told you this before we got on, but I never really realized how important comments or thumbs up or anything like that are, right? And so I never really commented or thumbs up. I just kind of watch and move on to the next, move on to the next. And then, fast forward to last year. And I've been thinking about it for a while, right? I've been thinking about it for a few years, but, I used to have a really, really stressful job, right? Long hours, I was probably doing 10 to 12-hour days, periodically weekends, very stressful. And so I'm just like, I just don't have the time to do it. There's just no way, I'm going to do this. Well, last year I ended up taking a new job, right, where I have a lot more free time, zero stress, a lot more free time. And it was at the National last year where I was there, and I saw some guys, right, that I know from YouTube, but I just didn't feel comfortable going up to them. Like, I know they would have wanted me to, right? But I just didn't feel comfortable going up to anybody and being like, hey, like, I'm a follower of you. I like your channel, and it's like, cool, but,
you'd be surprised. Most guys geek out when that happens.
I know. And I really should have. And I'm sure they would, but I didn't. And then I got home from the National, and I was like, all right, this year, I took a new job, a lot more time, no stress in life. I got time for this now. And I told myself I would, and I still waited a long time. And then I saw 2 videos, actually. Steve over at Red Steve's Cards. I watched his video and his first video, and it was right around the time, I think I started maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks after his first video. But I saw his video, and he had said all the same things that I basically said or would say in my first video. Is just like, I just want to be I don't have any friends that collect. I don't know anybody that collects. It's like, I see all the fun everybody's having here. It's like, I want to be a part of that. And then Orlando. So Orlando's video, a few months ago, 4 months ago or so, when he was talking about his cancer diagnosis, right? And just how important this community was to him, and how he was basically saying, I need to put this video out here. This is you guys are one of the most important things in my life, and this and that. And I was like, wow, like, all right, that's it. I need to put a video out. So, those were the 2 things that kind of broke the camel's back, or the straw that broke the camel's back, for me to put out my first video. And I'm still trying to figure it out, but.
Oh, I think it's funny. Steve, I think I don't know if he mentioned it in the chat to me that he wanted to start a channel, and I just said, just do it. You just got to do it. And he was going to Strongsville. So like a week or 2 before Strongsville, he put a video out just so people knew who he was, and just said, all right, this is me. So he went to Strongsville, and when I ran into him, I'm like, hey! And so and then he kind of clicked in with all, because we all hang out at Strongsville. Everybody hangs out. So
Yeah,
we all have to hang out. And...
I told Jason not to create a channel, but he didn't listen to me.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've got somewhat of breaking news, Sammy.
What's that?
Vintage Voyage. Do you watch them?
Yeah, sure.
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do his blog. So he's gonna write a blog about me. And one of the questions was, what influenced you? And I said it. I've been on for almost 2 years, and mine was Sammy, Orlando, and Alex were the three who influenced me. And that's been that's what it was.
Stay away. You're gonna hate.
and now look at this. I'm slamming beers with Sammy for the 44th time on screen. There are times where I was called Mr. Livestream. You are Mr. Livestream now. No, that's still, give it to Don, even though Don's semi-retired.
Right.
He posted a video, and I think I replied, "Hey, welcome to the community. Have you ever done a video before?" I think his reply was, "Yeah, I've done so many, I'm in the Hall of Fame."
Yeah, for me, so I'm always worried about live streaming. It's like when I just do my own videos, I can kind of control the uncontrollables or whatever you want to call it. So I got a dog here. I don't have kids, so that's one thing that I guess makes it a little easier. But I got a dog and I got a pig. And so those two are always, and my dog is always by my side. And then the pig, I'm sitting in my wife's office right now. But she could just want to come up and barge in here. And if she wants to get in here, she'll start kind of squealing at the door. So I'm like, I'm still a little nervous that, I'm going to have something like that happen. But
so wait, do you keep a pig just like a dog?
Yeah, she's a mini pig. So, I mean, she's not mini, like she's probably 120 pounds. Right.
Okay.
But I mean, we got an English bulldog, and then, and she's about the same size, probably a little bit longer, but she's, maybe a little taller as well, but definitely more filled out than the dog, But yeah, I mean, she's super chill and super sweet. Their pigs are really, really sweet, really, really smart. So
yeah, I know they're really smart animals.
I feel like you should send me a picture of the pig, and we'll make that your thumbnail for not thumbnail. Make that your YouTube logo. And
it's because you have a pet pig that she's actually going to become she should become the mascot of Cardboard and Cold Ones.
There you go.
But she's great. Yeah, but it's basically like a pig, Jason. We got a doggy door, that the dog and the pig could go right in and out as they please.
Right.
She's up on the couch sleeping, most of the day. She's in the side yard the other half of the day. So,
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
And this is in Hollywood?
No, I don't live there now.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm in it's a town called Temecula.
Okay.
It's between LA and San Diego. It's inland of Orange County. So there's kind of a mountain range to the west or east of Orange County, and then we're just past that mountain range. So
you're not terribly far from the Flowing Locks of Petty and Pepino Man and those guys out there.
Yeah, Pepino Man. Like I said, I actually met up with him last night.
Awesome.
So we did a little trade, right? We traded some commons, like some just set building stuff. And so I like last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, we met up at a card. It's a card show that happens every week. It's called Frank and Sons. I know, Dylan Double D has talked about it before and some other guys, but we met there and he picked some stuff from me. And then there was some stuff that I needed from him. And then so we went out last night. I met him out at a place by him. We had some beers and he gave me a big stack of 1970s and some 69s.
Oh, very cool.
He's working on the I thought he's working on 1970 tops. Was that what you traded him?
He's working on the 70. No, 70 he's done, I think. He's working on the 71. But
you have 71s?
Yeah, well, that's how we first kind of communicated, because he put out a video, right? Again, he doesn't respond to comments, right? Or I don't even think he looks at them. But he put a video out, and his video was like, hey, if anybody out there has some 71s and wants to trade, let me know. So I responded to him, and I was like, Caesar, like, hey, I got like a bunch of 71s, like, and he never responded, and then he was on a video with Lou Rock TV, and Lou was like, dude, get a hold of Jeff. He has some 71s. But by that time, he got like a big stack in the mail from somebody. So somebody pretty much gave him all the commons he needed. So I think I had like 171 that he needed, but I also had a bunch of 66s, 67s, 68s, and he hasn't started those sets yet. So I think I had maybe about 150 or so of each of those. And so for those, he ended up giving me about 150 1971s. He gave me about 100, probably another 225 1970s, and then probably about 25 1969. So it was a nice trade.
Are you building sets, Jeff?
Well, long story. I don't want to drag this out, but I'm not a set builder. But I have there's some nostalgia that I have. And Jason, I mentioned this when we were on live with Alex and Lou, but I have some nostalgia for the 1970 and 1971 set, because when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, my grandma realized that I was like into baseball cards, and she gave me a box, a literal shoebox of 1970s and 1971s from my dad. And to me, that's the first time I ever seen cards that old. And I just thought they were incredible. And I had told the story where there was like 5 Thurman Munson rookies in that box. And I mean, I thought I was rich. Like I was,
right.
I had a Beckett. I didn't know any of those players right at that time. And I was looking up all the cards in Beckett, and, most of them were commons. Right. But like there was 5 Thurman Munson rookies. And I remember seeing that, and it was like $100 each. And I was like, I'm rich, and so those are very nostalgic to me. And then recently I bought like a ton, like probably 1,800, mostly commons, but cards from like 1966 through 1971. But I paid like $80 for about 1,700 cards of those years. And so, I have a lot of the 70s, 71s, and 69s, especially. So I was like, you know what? I got them super cheap, and I got some of those already, the better stuff graded. And I'm like, I'm just going to go for this. I might just start slowly collecting the set.
Do you still have them?
No. Okay. The ones initially from my grandma or my dad. Yeah. No. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like, so now those 70s.
He frees up
a little bit.
It'll get back.
He'll be back eventually.
It's a very dapper look as he's frozen though.
The 71s were the combo was so epic he froze.
Yeah, that is the petty set. I know he mentioned it.
All right.
The Dick Allen, 71 Dick Allen's the greatest card ever.
All right, Jeff, we'll give you a second here. I'm gonna take you shoot us a text. Just let us know if you're having some issues there. I'm just gonna put you in the background for now, and we'll figure out a way to carry this forward.
That's a great look, though. I'm loving the look, though.
All right, he hopped off, but he'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, man. The one thing I was curious about was like if he, with the 71s, I'm curious about the condition.
Right, because they're so tough to find.
They would they would flip them, and they would try to like have them sit kind of like on an upright against the wall.
Right.
So, but yeah, the 71s are tricky, man. Okay, he says don't know what happened. Give me a minute. Cool.
Yeah, right. He's fine.
I'll be back. But yeah, no, the old Peachies. I remember I was with B-Roth. I took him to the Village Baseball Card Shop in Carmel Hamlet, one of my favorite shops. And Mike, who owns the shop, had an O-Pee-Chee maze, and he bought it. And I don't know if he sent it in for grading, but it looked super sharp.
Did he have that on a recent video of stuff he was sending in? I think he may have.
Because this video goes, because we did a video, but this goes back to, I don't know,
way back
5-6 months ago, maybe, when we went, when I took them there. But it was definitely before. I can't remember if it was before Strongsville or after. Yeah, time goes by too fast.
I know, and that is my favorite back. Those O-Pee-Chee backs on the 71s are awesome.
They're pretty
the floating head with the yellow. I love it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me just see. Just catch up in the chat a little bit. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Thank you, Mark.
Here we go. Here come the wrestling.
No, I
references.
promised Jeff Eklund that I wouldn't go wrestling talk. So we're not going to go there. 70, 71, 72 are, in my opinion, the 3 greatest consecutive sets of all time. It's hard to argue because they're so different from each other. Like, they're radically different. The 70s had something going on, man.
Yes. Well, I mean, up until 75, they were radically different. 70 to 75, I mean, it was crazy different.
Yeah. 72 was the send-off point. Like, but it's weird because 73 kind of, 70, 71 dipped in, 72 went way up, and then 73 kind of went back to traditional, and then 74 was kind of along that same line, then 75 went back to
right. It's funny, out of all those sets from 70, 75, the one I like the least was the year I was born. 73 is my least favorite of all those sets. I love 70 and the simplicity of it. I love the 70 set.
Yeah. Oh, he's back with us. Hello, friend. I guess the conversation was so awesome that you were buffering.
I don't know what I heard you guys like the whole time, and my computer here is still. It's like I have no internet or something. It's weird, but all right. Well,
we're
with 5G.
It's showing up clear. So
yeah, you're good now. So I guess the most important thing is, and I know some of what Jeff collects, and if you guys saw him on Alex's channel, we have a lot of similar likes, obviously because of the teams. But did you bring stuff to show, Jeff, to kind of show off and kind of share the collection?
I sure did.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, what do you want me? You want me to just kind of
whatever you want, brother. This is about you. Whatever you want to show.
All right. Well, so here's what I did. Right. I kind of wrote down a little bit of everything I collect. Right. And then I took 5 cards out of each of, my, like, all right, for instance, I collect the top 100 cards of the 1980s, right? It's a set by Mike Payne, Beckett.
Yep.
And so I pulled 5 cards from that set to show, right? And then same thing with these other kind of collections that I did. So I figured, again, I don't know how much time is this? Are we doing this for an hour or?
We do whatever you want. We'll just go.
Just go, and when everyone gets bored, we'll just get out of here.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So, all right. So there's certain sets that I do, right, that I'm working on, and of course, I don't just collect certain sets or random things like that, right? But there are some set registries that I do collect. 4 of them. I collect, it's the top 250 sports cards in the hobby, right? But I'm only working on like the baseball portion of that. And of course, some of those I'll just never get. I'm working on, the 300 great baseball cards of the 20th century set. So that's one I'm also working on. I'm doing probably like everybody else, the Hall of Fame players, post-war rookies, right? Yep. So I love rookie cards of all the Hall of Fame players, post-war. And then, like I said, the top 100 cards of the 1980s. So those are kind of like the set registry stuff that I'm doing, again, because it's, Hall of Fame rookie cards. Of course I want that. Who doesn't want that, right? And then the 300
John 380s kid.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then the 80s, the top 100 cards of the 80s, because I'm an 80s kid. The 300 great baseball cards. I used to watch Ray from Philly all the time. I mean, I still do, but he was one of like kind of the OG channels I used to watch too. And he was doing that set. And so he kind of sparked my interest on that set. And I like that set because it's kind of a, of course it doesn't tell the whole tale, of course, but it's kind of it kind of tells the story of baseball through baseball cards in the 20th century, right? So that's why I do really like that set. And then the top 250 sports cards in the hobby. I mean, it's just the most iconic cards in the hobby. So those are kind of the 4. And, I created like checklists literally for each one,
I forgot you do all that homework. Well, I forgot you're the homework guy.
Yeah. So I have all these different checklists, but then, I got smart and then I just did, and I've showed this before, but I combined them all, right? So all my set registry stuff are combined into this. And then, the other things that I do, I've been, recently, and this is a very recent thing, and I've probably done some videos on it, but I've definitely done videos on it. like, my Jordans, right? Like I had a lot of Jordans as a, kid, and I'll periodically buy them, but it's not something I'm really focused on so much. Right. But I've been kind of revamping my Jordan collection, getting them into Mag Pros, creating my own labels for them. So I'm doing that. And then, periodically, if I see something, I'll buy it. 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series team. It kind of started with me just wanting the rookie card, that whole team, the rookie card of each player in that set. But if that player was not on the Cubs in his rookie year, then I just wanted his first card, or first card as a Cub. But then it kind of evolved into starting to buy, well, then I want their rookie card and their first Cubs card. And then if they were a rookie on the Cubs, I'm just going to get 2 really great rookie cards. And then it kind of evolved into, well, now I want their autos as well. So I started buying that stuff. And then same thing with the 1990 Chicago Bulls. Just great team through the 90s and very nostalgic for me. So I've been buying up some 90s Bulls stuff, some of the autos, things like that. And then the 85 Bears. So I'm working on and all 3 of those, like my Jordans, the 90s Bulls, the Cubs, all that is just raw, putting them in Mag Pros, creating labels for that stuff. And then I'm also doing the 85 Bears, the 85 Bears team, but I'm buying all their like rookie cards graded. I'm doing all those PSA. If they were not a Chicago Bear on their rookie card, then I'm just buying their first Bears card. But, back then, most of their rookie cards are Chicago Bears. They were on the Bears in their rookie year.
Actually, I'm stealing that idea from you after watching your video. I'm like, all right, I'm doing that. So and my checklist, I'm going to form my checklist off of your video. I'm just going to go back and watch it and go, all right, this is what I write down what I need and take it from there.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. I'm glad I can inspire somebody.
Yes. Now I have a bunch of them, and most of them are ungraded. So I've already got a head start on a bunch of them. So.
All right. And then the other kind of things is, I do buy some modern cards, right? Like I'll buy modern cards and when I say modern, I guess I kind of mean, maybe 2000 to current of players that are going to be Hall of Famers or have potential to be Hall of Famers, things like that, right? I'll buy their rookie cards, things like that. And then, it's just, I like the top tier Hall of Famers, like the vintage stuff, Hank Aaron's. And I mean, I've always kept my Mantles over the years. I've never sold my Mickey Mantles, except one big one that I sold at one point, but I've always kept my Mantles over the years.
What was the big one that you sold? What was the big one that you sold?
It was a 1953 Topps, but it was autographed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was. Wow. Oh man, it was everybody has regrets, right? Everybody. Right. It was a card. It's a long story, and I think I talked about the story in like one of my first few videos. But I bought this collection from these kids came down from like Michigan to Chicago, and they were looking to sell their like dad's cards. Their dad passed away, and the card shop was offering them like $500 for this big chest of cards. And I was looking at it, and I was like, no, it's got to be worth more than that. So I ended up buying it from them for like, I told them I'd give them like $1,500, but I couldn't pull that much out of my bank at the time. Like it would only allow a certain amount every day. So it only allowed me like $1,300. And then then they wanted my GPS. Back then, you had a GPS in your car. So they're like, how about $1,300 in the GPS? So I gave them that, but it was, there was some amazing stuff in there. There was a bunch of autos. There was like a 58 Willie Mays auto, card auto. There was a Willie McCovey rookie auto. There was a Carly Yastrzemski rookie auto. There was a 1954 Bowman Mantle, not an auto, but just a 54 Bowman Mantle. But in addition to all this, there was a ton of 8x10 autos. There was a ton of just stacks of, cards from the late 50s, early 60s. But the big one and the best one in that whole thing was 53 Topps Mantle. It would probably grade a 2 or a 3. But it was autographed, and it was a beautiful blue Sharpie, clean. So I ended up, I know we're getting a little, I guess, off topic, but that card, I ended up getting it authenticated. So I sent it into PSA. I didn't get the auto, should have got the auto graded, but I didn't. It was just basically authenticated. 1953 Topps Mantle, PSA DNA authentic.
Right.
I put it in a memory lane auction here in California. And again, this is probably back in like 2012 or 13 when the economy wasn't great, still, and card prices were low, and sold for $1,000 in a memory lane auction. So really disappointing, but it is what it is.
And that is currently worth now what?
I don't know. I see them up
4,
on like eBay for
5?
like I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know just the card itself is probably a $5,000 card.
Right,
and then
right.
And the autograph, I see them. I don't know what they sell for, but I see them listed for like $25,000, $30,000.
Right.
Not that means that's what it'll get, but
That's crazy. All right, we'll show some stuff off. We gotta wet the beaks of the boys here. Show some cards.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then so that's pretty much it though. All right. So let me get into. I'm gonna get into each one, and I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna show 5 cards from each one. I'll do it pretty quick, right?
Perfect.
All right. So let's start with. I had an order I wanted to do this in. Let's go with. Where is? All right. Top 250 sports cards in the hobby, right? All right, I got 5 cards here I'll show from that. And disclaimer, I don't have many cards from the 50s, and I've talked about this before. I'm kind of strategically working my way back from everything I want current to the 50s and, then pre-war eventually. So I don't have a ton from the 50s. I have like some Mantles, and I got a Jackie Robinson I'll show here, but that's pretty much it. And then what I did with each of these collections is I've kind of tried to do like a 50s card, a 60s card, a 70s card, an 80s card, and a 90s card for each of these collections, just to kind of show a little variety. All right, so 5 cards from, this is the top 250 sports cards in the hobby. And I apologize if you guys hear some, my dog actually came in and he's snoring under the desk. So I hope it's not too bad. All right, so the first one I have, and this was kind of this was a funny purchase, but
a good one.
So the 53 Topps Jackie Robinson, this was within the past year I purchased this, and this was kind of I had a little bit too much bourbon that night, and I was looking at this card in auction, and it ended up, I saw it what it goes for in VCP, and then I bid like $100 or $200 cheaper than what this goes for in that grade, not expecting to get it, and I got it. So
that's good. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it was cheap, but it was still a obviously very expensive card that I wasn't planning on buying, but I did.
We approve of boozing and
right.
Yeah, definitely.
I should do it. I'm going to do a video of cards bought on the booze. I could probably do one.
Some of my best purchases are
right.
Under the influence.
All right. So next one I'm going to show 60s card, right? Again, I'm going to try to get this, 50s through whatever, each one from a different decade. All right, 60s card. So 60s, that's a Pete Rose PSA 6, right?
Right.
Nice card. I don't know how long you guys want me to show, or if I'm
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. If you want me to slow down, just tell me to slow down.
No, if you watch
but I purchased that.
Rapid fires.
That another one was, I had to talk to my wife about that one and convince her to let me buy that one. So she did. So I purchased that. All right, 1970s, another card from the top 250 sports cards in the hobby, right?
Wow.
So
in a 7.
Mike Schmidt, SGC 7. So nice card there. All right, now 80s, another 80s card from the. Oh, that's good, Sammy. Yeah, I was a little.
Sorry, it keeps jumbling.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, Jeff. I'm going to try a different screen. I'm going to see how this behaves because it's been problematic. And it's not really cooperating.
Yeah,
I can't bring up a comment, otherwise this is going to keep flipping. Let me see.
Right.
Yeah. It's just all right.
I can't control that.
It's worth the $40 a month.
Yeah.
All
right. So
wind. Anyway,
yeah. But the 82 Topps traded Cal Ripken Jr., right? Iconic 80s card. Part of that. And then
that's a big card 90s, too.
I'm sorry.
That's a big card. I mean, as cards, from that era considered, that's not a cheap card.
Yeah. I mean, I figure I'm on, Sammy Thunder's channel. I got to show some good stuff, All right, and then for the 90s, right? There's very few 90s cards on this top 250 sports cards in the hobby, but this one's on there. So the Jeter. So the Jeter FP.
Amazing.
All right. So again, that's kind of a representation of the top 250 sports cards in the hobby from the baseball stuff. So let's do post-war rookies. How about that?
Perfect.
Where is it? All right. Post-war rookies. So again, I don't have any post-war rookie cards in the 50s yet, right? So I'm going to start in the 60s, and I'm going to go through the 2000s with this one. So, all right, first one I have, I'll show this in the 60s, but the Rod Carew. So,
What's the grade on that? It's a 6.5 or?
Yeah, 6.5.
That's incredible.
That's a sneaky expensive
nicely
card.
centered card. Yeah, I'm getting that glare. Sorry, but
no,
you're fine.
You're good.
Okay, and then the 70s, just iconic George Brett from the 70s, post-war rookies.
Mr. Pine Tar.
Yes, sir.
And then 80s, I had to show this one, but the old Ryne Sandberg tops, R.I.P. Ryne Sandberg, recently deceased, but always loved this card, his cards in general, Cubs fan. So had to show that, get one in there.
That was a good year. Him, Boggs, and Gwynn. That's a great year.
It was a great year. And then for the 90s, Jason, I mean, I had to.
There it is. His best card, too.
My favorite White Sox player in the 90s, Frank Thomas. So there's that. And then the last card that I have to represent, the Hall of Fame players, post-war rookies of the 2000s. So Joe Mauer, Bowman.
Nice. What did he get in? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something like that. It was recent. It was recent. So, all right. So that's that. Now let's go to, how about the 300 great baseball cards of the 20th century?
Heck yeah.
All right. And then these are going to be, I guess they're not so random, but all right. Number one, I do have that 59 as well.
Love it.
So the 59 Mays, that incredible basket catch that he made, in the, I think it was the 54 World Series.
Mm-hmm.
But so have that, again, part of the 300 great baseball cards. This card, just an amazing card from that set.
Great card.
The Mantle Mays, Manager's Dream. But yeah, beautiful card, great set. And then this card, I've never had these cards before, but when I got this in hand, and it looks so much better in person, in hand, I love this set. I would love to collect this set and get into these more. But that 1970 Kellogg's,
it's an awesome set. It's my first year Kellogg's, my favorite Kellogg's set.
Yeah, I mean,
that is probably one of the best. That's one of the best looking cards in the set too.
Yep, and it's just beautiful, and it just doesn't do it justice seeing it online or me showing it here. When you actually look at it, it's just incredible. So
I think Jayhawker Mike's working on the set, if I'm not mistaken. I know that's.
Oh, is he?
I watched one of his videos. I think he's working on it.
All right, and then another one. I mentioned this card. I had to show it. Had to get it in there somewhere, but the 86 Canseco. And then the last one I have here, this is I love this card. It's going to look very simple on the front, but you'll see, I guess, why it's part of the 300 great baseball cards. But it's the 1992 Score Joe DiMaggio, right? But it's the auto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's one of the earliest pack-pulled autos. And Jason, I specifically liked this one. Because I love the number 708 out of 2,500 or 2,500. So 708 is the Chicago, area code.
Yes, sir.
But just love this card. I actually bought it in a old SGC slab, and then I sent it in and just had him reholder it. So I just love how it looks. But again, just another card from the 300 great baseball cards set, representing that set.
I've never combed through that book. I don't know all of the later cards. I know most of, from watching all the channels, I know most of the 50s cards and the earlier cards within that set.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know that was in the part of the 300 great cards. I didn't even know that.
it goes up through the 90s. I mean, they get into the late 90s in that set.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's cool. You know, it's a fun set to collect for sure.
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome.
there's definitely some cards where it's like, I really don't really want the card, but I just have to buy it because it's part of the set, you know? So I don't know.
Who's the bubblegum Belavacqua?
Yeah, the Kurt Bevacqua.
Bevacqua.
Yeah.
Isn't that on the list?
Yep. So that's why I have that card. You know, it's like
Right.
not one of my favorite cards, probably a card I generally wouldn't buy, but it actually worked for that live stream with Alex and those guys.
Oh, that's right. I was
able to show it there. So, okay. And then let's go to the 80s, right? Let's do the top 100 cards of the 1980s. All right. And so what I decided to show here was just some, I mean, you know, there's some good ones. I just, you know, I wanted to pull out some good ones, right? And then there's just some ones that are, you know, a little bit, you don't see them very often. But all right, so the 1984, but this isn't the tops. This
Tiffany?
is the 84 Nestle.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
So yeah, part of the top 100 cards of the 1980s. It's on that list. So great card. I love that Nestle set. Cool set. Then this is one of my favorite cards of the 80s of all time. That 87 Bo Jackson, that 87 classic green Bo Jackson.
Yep.
You know, part of that set, just a great image on that card with, you know, another image of him with his shoulder pads and baseball bat and Auburn gear. So
he's local here. He's still local in Chicago.
Yeah, isn't he in like Oak Brook or something like that?
Clarendon Hills, just outside of Oak Brook. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then these are probably the two biggest cards that I had to purchase for that set. The first one, and you know, I showed this Jason last time we did this with Alex, but again, I got to show it if I got it.
Yeah.
But the 87 Donruss opening day Barry Bonds, but it's not the Barry Bonds, it's the Johnny Ray error. So Johnny Ray pictured, you know, again, it's probably a stupid expensive card, right? It's I like it. I feel like it's kind of iconic, but it's just so expensive to me for what it is. But again, I wanted to complete the set, so I bought it.
Yeah, and Orlando, I know you're not showing comments. Orlando said it. That's a tough card. It's hard.
It is tough, yeah.
Crazy comment, but it's gonna flip the screen.
Right.
Again, so
yeah, that's why I was kind of just reading through them.
Yeah, just want to mention for if anyone's wondering why I'm not pulling comments, is because StreamYard is glitching. So
right.
Well, no, you know, don't forgive me. Forgive StreamYard for their unfortunate glitches.
Sam, are you familiar? You're familiar with the Johnny Ray card, right?
Yeah. It's crazy cool.
Okay, and then the other one that was, you know, the probably second most expensive card that I had to buy in the 80s, but I love it. And this is a card that I actually do really want. It's a tough card as well, but it's the 89 Bowman Tiffany Ken Griffey Jr. So, you know, just the Tiffany version of this card. But I love the image on the card, and, you know, I'm just a big fan of the Tiffany's in the 80s. So I've been buying some Tiffany's. So yeah, had to pull the trigger on that one as well.
That's an awesome card. I've got the standard Bowman. It's a great card.
Yeah. All right, and then this one is you know, not a card I remember. I mean, I don't remember, but I have heard this was a very tough card or a big chase card in the early 80s. But it's the 82 Fleer John Littlefield reverse negative. So again, it's a card that, you know, is like, I don't really necessarily care about, but, you know, I remember this or heard it being a big chase card in the early 80s. And it's actually a expensive card. So it wasn't cheap for sure, but I bought it in a PSA 9, and I ended up getting it crossed over to SGC because I'm doing all the 80s stuff in SGC. That's just the way I decided to do it. And it came back in 9.5, which you would think is typical because I do feel that PSA is a harder grader than SGC, but I've sent a bunch of stuff in to PSA crossover, like a bunch of PSA stuff to cross to SGC, which I know financially is not the right move, but I just wanted it because I wanted my set uniform. And there's very, very few that went up in SGC. Most of it probably 75% of it came back the same grade, and about 25% went down like a half a grade in SGC, which, who knows? I don't really care.
But did you crack them or did you send them?
No, I sent them straight in. So
okay,
that could be part of the problem too. But so that's it. So that is, just 5 kind of more random things from the top 100 cards of the 1980s.
No, that's awesome.
You want me to keep going?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Let's do. All right. So I talked about some. Let's do this one. All right. Let's do this. So, like everybody, I get randomly excited about cards, right, that are not on my checklists, right? I see a card or I see somebody showing something and I'm like, I want that card. I want that card, And so I'm just going to show 5 cards that are not on any of my checklists necessarily, but they're just cards that I got excited about and wanted to buy. So the first one I got inspired by. The first one, it's a card I would want eventually anyway because Mantle is on the card. But the reason I really wanted to buy this one because it's got Ken Boyer on it.
Yes.
And I don't have any Ken Boyer cards. And so my buddy John at Nerding Out with Cards, when he was on the 4 Collectors channel, he was on John 3D80s Kid. He had shown this card, and it was just a funny story about it because he was, just saying like, oh yeah, I happen to have a Mantle card in my collection because I had to buy this Ken Boyer. And so, he bought it for the Ken Boyer, but Mantle just happens to be on it. So, you get a laugh out of that. But, I saw John was showing this and I was like, I got to get me a Ken Boyer card. And it's got Mantle on it, so I got to get it. So
that's a great card.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a Cardinals fan, so I'm going to be a little, and not terribly expensive. So it's nice.
No, it was, somewhere between 100 and 150 bucks, maybe right in that range. And it's a 6, it's a PSA 6, so it's in great shape. And then here's another one. This is just a card is very nostalgic to me. I know I talked about the 70s and the 71s about how I got that shoebox from my dad. But my neighbor next door to me as a kid, after I got that, had this card. And I wanted to trade my entire collection for this card because I thought I loved this guy at the time. And I just thought, again, this is just, it was, 1990. So this is only a, 18-year-old card at that time. But he had this card. And so again, it's probably not the most, like one of Nolan Ryan's best cards, but I love it. I love the 72 set so much. I love Nolan Ryan. Jason, I told that story, remember on Alex's channel about that kid in Addison, Illinois, who bought that Nolan Ryan rookie for like $12. Right. And just
that made
Nolan
national
Ryan's,
news. Like people knew about that when you were telling the story.
Yeah. And so Nolan Ryan to me was just always kind of like this God, and my neighbor had this and I always wanted it, and so, I always kind of flocked back to buying that card.
That's not the, that's not the, was that the, is that your neighbor's card, the one that's a 7, or is that just the, was that?
No. That's just one I bought recently. Yeah. No, my neighbor never traded me that card. I was willing to give up my whole collection for it. And he just wouldn't do it. But that card, I think, I want to say that was like really expensive. Like, I feel like, I remember the card number is like $595. The card number is $595. And I want to say that card was like in Beckett, that was like a $400 or a $500 card back in like 1990 in Beckett. And right. so I just remember like the value was almost like what the card number was on that. So yeah, that was that. And then here, 80s card, right? Again, I'm trying to, one from the 60s, one from the 70s. Now the 80s, again, Tiffany cards are not on any of these lists, but I love the Tiffany's cards. So I bought the Roger Clemens Topps Tiffany.
That's a beauty.
And I'm kind of going through some of these Tiffany's and buying up some Tiffany's that I find,
That's huge in the hobby. Lou Rock's a big Tiffany guy. Dylan's a big Tiffany guy. They really enjoy the Tiffany's.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're great. I mean, I just love them. And then this next one, a card, not necessarily the card I always wanted, but a card from this set that I always wanted. And I never owned in my life until I bought this maybe a year ago or so. But the 1991 Donruss Elite.
Yes.
I mean, that was just an incredible insert set, back in the day. So hard to pull these from packs. I don't know anybody that ever pulled it from a pack. And almost like that Roberto Clemente, that 1970 Kellogg's. I mean, this card in person, it just, showing it here or seeing it online just doesn't do it justice. It's just a really, really beautiful card in person. So, wanted to pick that up and finally got my hands on one.
No, that's awesome. That's
and
totally
then
cool.
Lastly, just some random things that I wanted. And I showed this in one of my early videos, but I bought a lot of Collector's Choice back in 1994, right? It was cheap packs. You pulled, it was like I don't know how many cards were in the pack, but probably 12 to 15. Always looking for the silver signatures, see what silver signature you're going to get. And then periodically, one per box, you'd pull a gold signature. And so, just those are very nostalgic for me. And I saw this thing pop up on eBay, 4 months ago or so, and I just had to pull the trigger on it. But it's the 94 Alex Rodriguez gold signature. So, these are one per box, and I don't know. I like Alex Rodriguez. I collect his rookies. And again, a gold signature, like that was the true chase for us. Me and my broke friends in 1994 buying Collector's Choice packs, right? Just hunting, seeing what you're going to get for your silver signature, but hunting the gold signature,
Are they crazy expensive? Are they fairly affordable?
I think I paid, so this is in a 9.5. I think it was between maybe $250 and $300. I paid for
so
it.
Not like insane.
No. And then I bought the Billy Wagner as well, because he, from the same seller, he had the Billy Wagner as well, and I was just like, new Hall of Famer. I don't like, his Bowman card. I think is the card that is
the registry rookie.
And I'm just like, why the Bowman? Like, there's better. Right. I feel like there's like that. He has an SP. Like, why wouldn't the SP be the rookie for that? But it's his Bowman, whatever. But I saw the Collector's Choice gold rookie, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy that. So that's my cool kind of stand-in before I pick up his Bowman.
That's perfect. That is awesome.
And then all right, well, I know we're already in a minute, and I still got modern cards, like modern future Hall of Famers. I got some top tier Hall of Famers not on my list. I got my Bears, Bulls, Cubs.
Holy jeez.
I'm sure we don't have to go through all that. Is there anything in particular, or?
I'll let the chat decide that one. So it was let's do two more stacks if you're cool with that.
Yeah, I have, like I said, I got some more modern future Hall of Famer stuff.
Okay.
I got some top tier Hall of Famers not on any of my lists.
Okay.
I have my 85 Bears. I have some 90 Chicago Bulls. I have some 2016 Cubs. I got some Jordans, some miscellaneous Jordans.
Jordan.
Right. So I mean, we got one vote for 85 Bears, but
isn't Brad comments? I believe Brad's local to Chicago too, so he knows the 85 Bears.
So pick your for the chat, I guess. Pick your top two you want to see. I'm going to pull it back to the three boxes here so I can pull some comments in, because I feel bad that it just glitched out, man. All right, no one's really voting, but so I guess it's
all right. Well, then
dealer's choice.
Let's go with. All right, let's go with modern, just cause.
Sure.
All right, so again, just some simple modern stuff that I just feel like you need in your collection, right? So just an Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge, Topps rookie from 2018, right? 2017, Aaron Judge, right? Just incredible player. This card, I just really love this card. I have other ones, Shohei Ohtani rookies, but I love this one. I don't know why. His Allen and Ginter mini rookie card. So I just like the mini for some reason version of it. So 2018, not a very expensive card rookie, but if he keeps up with what he's doing, obviously future Hall of Famer for sure. And so, I'll buy some of his stuff.
As far as modern base cards go, his are up there. I mean, it's not crazy expensive, but modern base, you know, non-numbered stuff and non-paralleled. Like my favorite is his Topps Finest, and I've got that. That's it. I always wanted one of them batting and one of them pitching. So I've got his base, his paper base, and then I've got his Finest where he's hitting.
Actually, that's a good point. I got to look through my other ones and see if I definitely have him. I have his like Topps rooking or pitching one, you know?
Right. Just standard base paper.
I don't know if I have a batting one. I got to go back and look if I have a batting one of him.
If you don't check out the Topps Finest, it's a great card.
All right. Good to know. All right. And then a Mike Trout, right? I mean, you know, I paid way too much for this compared to what it's worth now. But obviously, great player, or, you know, was at least. Hopefully, he can turn it back around. But we'll see. But, you know, just a kind of an iconic modern card, right?
Absolutely.
This was a huge chase card. You know, I was only collecting for 2 years at this point, and this was a huge chase card when it came out. But the 2010 Bowman Chrome, it's the Bryce Harper, his 2010 card. So it predates his rookie. So it's technically like his, I don't know if it's his Bowman draft or what you call it, but it's his first Bowman Chrome card.
It's his Olympic card, isn't it? So it's like the McGuire. It's like the McGuire 84.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember at that time, I think it was this card and the Steven Strasburg were the big cases. And I remember pulling the Steven Strasburg. This I bought, but I do have the Steven Strasburg, and I pulled that out of a pack. And I was like, I felt like a kid again, pulling a big card out of a pack. So it was great. And then, you know, just a 2000 Topps Chrome Miguel Cabrera, you know.
I need that.
Future Hall of Famer. So figured I'd show some modern cards here. And, I don't know. I mean, I got other stuff too, but I know we're running long. So
no, that was awesome.
That was great, man. It was there was a lot of variety as
that was the goal, right? The goal. I literally picked each of these collections, you know, and decided like, all right, I'm going to pick a card from, if I got one from the 50s, let's do a 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? And
sure,
you know, one card from each kind of decade for each of these collections. So,
no, that's awesome. I appreciate you jumping on with us, Jeff.
No, hey, thank you guys for having me. You know what I mean? This is I would have never have guessed 4 months ago before I put my first video out that you guys would ask me to be a part of this. So again, thank you guys. I feel like what's funny is I feel like I've gotten everything out of this YouTube experience already in 4 months that, you know, where I would have thought, you know, it's like, oh, it's going to take forever to kind of start meeting guys and friends here and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like I've really gotten out of it what I have wanted already out of this. So it's been great. And thank you guys for having me. And obviously this helps with, you know, giving me a little bit of exposure, you know, so.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, I plugged your channel here so that people can subscribe. And the link's available in the chat. It doesn't show it here in StreamYard, but the link does. It's clickable in the chat, so people can go right to your channel and you know, check out your videos and subscribe. So we had as many as like 45 people tonight. So I'm hoping. There were some people I think that did subscribe, but I'm hoping that a bunch of a lot of the people from there.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I appreciate it, right? It's fun. You have subscribers and all that stuff, but you know, I'm in it for the comments and the you know, and sharing, like literally sharing phone numbers. I got a bunch of guys now that, you know, we've shared phone numbers and I text and we talk, you know, and so. For me, that's what it's all about. I mean, subscribers are great because, of course, it just gives you more opportunity to have those friendships and things like that. But yeah, I mean, so thank you. And I apologize about, I don't know what's going on with my internet. I would say that's the first time that's happened before. But luckily, I got my phone on the backup. So
you're good.
We're very low key here. None of that matters.
Yeah, it's all good, man. All right, cool, man. Well, listen, Jeff, I appreciate you coming on, and as always, everybody in the chat, good, fantastic job at keeping this going, and we'll be back for episode number 45 next week. So Good times. Everybody have a good rest of your night and hopefully a good start to their weekend.
See you, everybody.